Hello everyone and welcome back to the HCW YouTube channel. My name is Ray Wrestle and today we've got another UK Indy Spotlight and we've got the Brilliance James Ellis on. How are you doing?
All right, mate. Yeah, good. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. As I was saying before this, I've struggled at work today, especially on a Monday because we do the longer shift on a Monday because it's the busiest and then it whittles down.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you're all good though?
Very good. Thanks.
There
Yeah,
we
we all
go.
know about the Monday feels.
Yeah,
Get through
definitely.
it, though. It's all downhill from here now. We're on the way to the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. So as the people that have not watched this before, we pretty much it's like a really dodgy "This Is Your Life." So we very budget cut. So we'll start off from where you began and where you go into, and then we'll go from there. So pretty much we'll start off with what was your kind of like your first wrestling memory? What kind of got you into wrestling?
I've done a few of these now. It hasn't really changed from what I can remember. In terms of the startup story, I definitely was given like wrestling figures when I was younger by like a
Yeah,
mother's friend. And that sort of got me into like, you have your Action Man and stuff
yeah,
like that and everything. But I was given wrestlers and like an old wrestling stage where basically they're like the late '90s ones. It was like Stone Cold, The Rock, and you put their feet on
Oh,
this
the
stage. They
Titantron
started
thing.
playing
Yeah, yeah.
started playing the music. But like that was kind of by the by because I didn't really get where they came from and what was going on. So I'd say my first real wrestling memory, I was at a party. I was about, I was like maybe seven, and I was like, I think it was around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and we'd, my parents were whatever in the kitchen, and they were talking to their friends, and I was just a young kid, still awake, usually in bed at this time. I ended up going into this living room, and for some reason they obviously had Sky Sports on, and ended up having it was SmackDown, and the
Yeah.
match I believe was Rob Van Dam and Rey Mysterio v Kenzo Suzuki and Rene Dupree.
Yeah.
I believe that was the match. And Kurt Angle was definitely on after because I remember watching Kurt Angle as well. But that was like the sticking point of like, oh, I really like to watch this. And no, obviously nothing in my mind came to like doing like being a wrestler at some point in my life. But I really enjoyed it. It gripped me. It's that classic. Oh, I went past it and it was on the TV, and then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really enjoyed it. But we didn't have Sky Sports in my house at the time, so I never watched it. Like to be honest with you, what's this? Must be around 2004. Like my first real um exposure to wrestling on a regular. I used to watch TNA and my nan's on the
Okay.
wrestling channel, and like it wasn't Spike, it was Bravo over here.
The old school,
But
yeah,
she
yeah.
just let me watch wrestling, so I'd literally be up to like as I got older, say 9 or 10, I'd be up being over there for the weekend, and on the Saturday night it'd be like a 1 a.m. job. I'd still be up and I'd be watching like TNA Destination X. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, like
And
proper old school.
yeah, so like I have very fond memories of like TNA at that time because that's what I really watched. So I'm a bit of a TNA guy from like 2006 to or 2005, 2009 over WWE.
So
Um,
yeah, that was like the best part of TNA as well, because I remember watching it, and then I've kind of they recently, well not recently, a few years ago, they started playing the pay-per-views every Saturday, like in order, and
yeah,
you can see where it started going terribly wrong.
yeah. Well, brother, you know where it went wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, just they should have stuck to what was going on, what was making the product work. But hey, never mind. It's good to go and watch back. Yeah, so that's really like the start, I'd say. Where I really started to enjoy wrestling and watched it. Fell out of it a bit then, for a couple of years, and yeah, it's another typical CM Punk brought me back into it with the Summer of Punk.
Yeah, yeah.
I watched all that on YouTube, like you know through the whole thing, and that really got me interested because I was like, this is fucking cool. This is really cool. Um, so yeah, I got a bit of fandom back into it then.
No, that's cool. Especially the punk angle. Like, yeah, like I was pretty much caught in a lot in a weird period of wrestling. I was still watching it, but like punk did bring that kind of entertainment back because you actually made it. You made it feel like it actually was a thing that he was just going to leave the title. And it's like,
Yeah,
um,
it was so convincing, like as an angle. I think the perfect person to play that like anti-hero role at the time. He was in some ways like a little bit of I'd say like a modern like naughty Stone Cold for
Yeah.
that brief period. And then he just got back into it, and he was just on Raw again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of lost it, but yeah, especially the spot, the actual match though, at Money in the Bank, in versus Cena, like the crowd was insane.
Yeah.
And then they did that spot. But my favourite part of it, no one really mentions, is when Alberto Del Rio comes down. You're thinking, oh, this is how they're gonna F CM Punk up, and then he kicks him in the head and runs off, and it's like, oh my god, he's actually he's fine.
Yeah, it was superb. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that part.
So how did you branch in from like deciding like watching it to kind of going into training wise?
So it came. I went to university, and in my first year, randomly did well on a course. I'm sorry, I'm bored you with a lot of
No,
backstory
don't
here,
worry.
but I did well in one of my courses, and I went, do you know what? I'm gonna buy the WWE Network because it literally came out like the year before.
Yeah.
So that was game over then, because I was like literally watching like my favorite period, which I'd only watched a parts of, which is like 02 to 05. I was just watching it all, and then obviously you had the pay-per-views. So like every month I'd be watching pay-per-views because I lived in uni. I was like, I could stay up till 4 a.m. on a Monday morning, like, and just go into lectures a bit tired. And then in second year, I was like, yeah, I don't know why. It might have been my phone listening to me, because I was getting a lot more stuff on Twitter about like, well, wrestling, like in general. Wasn't there really? It was like, if you saw one of my posts, I wrestled him recently, Flash Morgan Webster.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of his stuff pop up in like Welsh wrestling. So one day I just ended up emailing him, just asking about wrestling in Wales. And, I just ran that. It was a Sunday afternoon. And I remember it quite clearly why I was just in work at the time. And I was like, I'm gonna email him. To be fair, he got back with me. He got back to me with like a load of information about the time Dragon Pro.
Yeah.
And it was always going to be after university. It wasn't going to be like, I'm going to start now. It was like, I just want to know, want to get an idea. I also emailed Welsh Wrestling. And I ended up going to neither of those, because I was given Dragon Pro and Welsh Wrestling. Welsh Wrestling closed its doors about 2 weeks, like their training school closed 2 weeks after I'd emailed. And then Dragon Pro came out uni, and just couldn't really afford the travel and stuff to go there. So I got got my stuff together, put it that way, like got a job whenever, full-time job. And within 6 months I was ready to go. I was like, got money, let's do it. And then I just went to my most local option, which is a place called RIW in Batalba, and I started there. And yeah, Flash always he's taken the mick out of me since, because I didn't take any of the advice he gave me. And he took his time, like when he was on. He was up there, one of the best in the UK, like at the time, like Progress, everything. I know he went on to do even better things, but he took his time and didn't take any of the advice he gave me. So yeah, but like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed starting there. It was cool just to be like bumping in a ring and locking up and like learning little bits about matches and that. Do you want me to carry on, or is there any questions?
No, you carry on. With? Yeah, I was going to you carry on. I'll branch out eventually, but I'm happy for you to continue as much as you want.
Yeah. Go on. You go.
No, that's the whole point of it. That's what I was saying. Yeah, you continue. I'm just here to kind of segue. That's all it is.
So, within 5 months, I remember I did my first, like, this is a bit of a horror. It's not a horror story, but it's like a bit of one show I was just asked, turned up for a show, like helping out and coming to watch. They are long, because they were running regularly, like every month nearly. And they just went, do you want to go in the Rumble today? And I went, but I haven't got any wrestling gear. They're like, oh, it's fine. Just go and find something in the house. So I remember my first ever match. I know if people who watch this who know me will piss themselves with this. Sorry about my language. But I ended up my first time in a ring on a show.
Yeah.
I was in Newport Dragon, Gwent Dragon rugby shorts, just plain white socks, trainers, and like a t-shirt. And like that was my first. And I got in there, and within about 30 seconds of being in there, I said to someone, I said, please, can you eliminate me? And I went over the top rope. And the next, I was actually told the day after, they were like, we're going to have you debut the next month. So get some wrestling gear. And I did. So I ended up getting some like plain black tights. no writing or nothing. You get all this spectacular. If you see some of the kit I got on now, I'm
Yeah.
pretty pleased with how I look and everything. But yeah, it was just this chubby kid in a vest in white in black tights.
Shorts, yeah.
And boots that I think I didn't like the brand of boots I had, so I didn't have my Adidas ones in. So I wrapped them up in black tape so no one could see the brand I was wearing. Um, yeah, so there was definitely like I described my career so far. I think it's why I love it so much. It's just been like learning as we go along. You know what I mean? There's definitely
Yeah,
been a
it's
case of
experience. Yeah.
yeah, and it's not like oh I'm super prepared. It's like oh I'm kind of prepared, but I'm like really like learning on the job here. So yeah, I'm loving it. And like yeah, at that time I think back then I wasn't enjoying it as much because I was really, really nervous before every match because I don't think I should have been anywhere near the wrestling ring. But I knew in the back of my head that when it came time, hopefully I could produce something that the fans at least at the end of the day, you rest in front. I didn't matter what crowd you're resting in front of. I don't know. I'm segueing a bit here, but
No,
I'll
no,
come
no,
back to it
no,
later.
no.
They want to be entertained, and for me, like especially like if some like friends or family came, I wanted them to like somehow, all right, they'd enjoy me probably whatever because they were like they know I was doing something I loved, but I wanted them to genuinely be like, oh, that was good. So that was the only issue for me early on is that I don't think I was very good. But no, actually no, I don't think I wasn't very good. Um, I definitely wasn't the brilliance. I definitely wasn't good as gold. Um, and I just think that I was definitely like just sort of like flying by the seat of my pants, but in a bad way because the content wasn't very good and the fans weren't really entertained. Um, so yeah, that's like the start, and I'm sure you'll have a question now for me to segue on to.
Yeah, yeah. So, what we normally ask you like at this point, what did you like your family and friends think when you kind of decided to give the wrestling a go?
I had about three people who were my mates who were like, "That's cool," because they liked wrestling,
Yeah.
and they like one of my mates, right? His name's Dylan, and I will send in this and say shout out to him because he is the man. He watched me. I met him in uni, and we watched the Royal Rumble together over his house. I think that was our last year.
Mm.
We always talk wrestling, and I started. He was like, "No way! When you have a show, please tell me. I'll come and watch." So he like lives in like West Wales, but like, which is quite far from where we live. I live in South Wales, but it's
Yeah.
about an hour, maybe an hour and a half away. But he lived in Cardiff after uni, luckily. But he would come down to watch. Like I think he watched when I was in RIW. I think I did like 9 shows, and he watched at least 4 of them. So he's the unsung hero because he's now watched me like he watched me go from there
To
where
where
it
you
was
are.
terrible. And I'm not saying I'm still learning, but like he watches the product I'm on now. Like he watched me at Slam Masters last week. 340 people in the bank, all in Cardiff. Like he's seen it. He's seen it all. So
Yeah, like the
he
beginnings to
can
now.
really.
Yeah.
He should be on the podcast with me because he'd be able to give you. He was like he watched the dross, you know what I mean, and now he's watching. Hopefully, it's a little bit better, and I know that he'll continue to come because he's just a good friend and he likes wrestling. So yeah, like my family, like to be fair, like my siblings very supportive. She designed my merch for me and everything.
Hmm.
Um, like they help me loads, but parents a little bit oof, they just don't get it, but
Yeah.
they'll support me. They've come to a couple of shows, but they know it's like the dream. So yeah, it's good. It's been really good. Been really good.
Okay. And then the first match I could find of you, so I couldn't find this Rumble. I found it was a title match for the Imperial title. You Self versus Alex Mason.
Yeah, first
Um,
match in straight into the title picture.
that was your actual first
Yeah,
singles match, was it? Straight into the
it
title
was. Yeah.
picture.
Have you actually watched it?
I have not. No, no.
No, don't watch it. Don't
I'm
watch
definitely
it.
going to watch it now. Let's.
It's like I remember like poor Alex because he had to, he was quite new as well. I think he had like 8 matches at the time, and he was expected to carry like this complete greenhorn. Like didn't have a clue what I was doing in there. It's really not a very good match. I still talk to Alex all the time. I really get on with him.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. He doesn't do it anymore actually, but he's come to watch me in a few shows, and he's always very supportive as well. But yeah, it's really not a good match at all. It is the atypical first match you'd expect from
Yeah.
someone who's has
Just
only been training
nerves.
5 months.
Yeah.
very nervous. There's no fire. I was the good guy. There's no fire. I'm just there, like, trying to remember the move. You know what I mean? What's next?
Just trying to get it in,
And
basically.
yeah, I just really don't mess up more than anything. So yeah, there was. I know we've talked about it quite a lot. Yeah, it was that's really not a good match. I wouldn't recommend watching that
No,
unless you want to watch
I'm
something
definitely going
like
to
that.
find
And
it
then
now. That's
yeah, it's completely up to you. But yeah, so yeah, that was my first match, like match. Yeah, singles, 1-on-1 title match.
title match, yeah.
It was something. You know what I mean? It was something.
And then I said you were there for like 9 or 10 matches. You could see you did have another title match, which was a ladder match that you ended up picking up the title.
I
Which
did.
2020.
Pre-pandemic, I picked it up about a month before lockdown.
So that's the reason.
And that, yeah, well, there was a lot of weird stuff said about that title because bad things seemed to happen whenever someone new won it. So it was quite strange. And then the pandemic literally happened, and I was getting blamed for it from a few people there, which I thought was weird. But each their own. And yeah, that was like the kind of signaling. Like I remember then, I said this on a podcast, right? And this sounds really bad, but in terms of wrestling in my life, like the pandemic was probably the best thing that's happened to me because it made me reset a lot of things. Definitely get a new perspective on life and what I wanted from it. And like, we all have bad times in lockdown, bad days.
Yeah.
But I like really like sort of changed my attitude towards like my work, wrestling, the gym, like, got a girlfriend out of it as well. So like, things, a lot of things changed for me personally and professionally. So yeah, I definitely like decided around the September time of 2020.
Yeah.
It was when things were like getting opened up, then closed back down, opened up, closed. I was like, right, I think I want to train somewhere else now. I think I want to try something new because I'd spoke to a lot of people over lockdown, a lot of FaceTime calls, a lot of just watching wrestling, a lot of just talking about wrestling, what you want from it. One of the people I'd met in RIW was starting his own company, and he'd taken it upon himself to like put me as his first roster member.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of thing there about like you work in other places. So I was like I'm my own man. Like I'm gonna do what I want.
Yeah.
So like that kind of made it, I did the right thing. We did a TV sort of like, filmed in front of no one, lost the belt, kept the continuity, and I was like, thank you very much for every opportunity, but I'm gonna go and and that, like I said, that then started off. I started training down at All Style in Swansea, and that was like on and off from like December, right around until March 2022, really. On and off, obviously, because things kept on opening and closing. But like from like say May, I was consistently every week training there at least twice a week because there was nothing else to do. You know what I mean? It was like go to the gym when they were open, or go wrestling training because it was like kind of allowed. You know what I mean? As long as you tested and everything, it was sound. But I also started going to seminars then from like August 21. That Carnage, Pro Wrestling Carnage opened up their first show. I was on that, and like that was like, oh wow, I wrestled him like was a lot better than me. His name's Sam Parker. He stopped doing it as well now. But he's trying to come back. I'm pretty sure. I'm not the retirer. I promise.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
But like that match, I was like, wow, right, okay, this is cool. It was the biggest crowd I wrestled in front of, and things like the training. I was enjoying the training. I was a lot fitter. I looked a lot better. I came back with the pack. Like I really say, like I'll not discount the 9 matches I had, or 10 or 11 matches, because you can count the ones in front of like the trainees we had, where there was a crowd at RIW. They're written down, so I count them. But like the post-pandemic is still like a proper restart. Like where I was the Brilliance, like it was all new gear. Like I had wrestling boots, like didn't have them before. So I came back looking completely different. So I do like say I started there, but like the real work started after the pandemic, and it was the best thing for my wrestling career so far and the journey I'm on. So yeah, sorry. I know I'm going off, but
I like this kind of thing because you kind of pretty much go to my next question without me asking, which is always good for me. Before we wham into Carnage, obviously you had COVID. Not you. Everyone had COVID. So we normally kind of ask more like behind the wrestling kind of thing. So are you a big music fan? What kind of music are you into?
I'm a huge music fan.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of guy who was like a top 5% Spotify listener because
Oh,
I'm literally, if I'm not on my phone, like like putting stuff up on social media for wrestling, I'm literally, I'm probably listening to music while doing it.
yeah.
I listen to music in work, everything. And I like a variety of things. Like, I literally could listen to heavy metal, rock, um, pop, Brit pop, dance music, rap.
Yeah.
Like I can listen to acoustic stuff. I love it all, mate. Like
Collect it. Yeah.
I'm very broad with it. So yeah, I can listen to music all day long
Yeah.
comfortably.
So what we
But,
normally do is basically it's a thing that started because someone challenged me to a poll on Twitter with my music taste versus their music taste, and now it's a continuous thing where I lose every time I have someone on. So basically we do a top three artists versus my top three artists, and then we put out a poll
okay.
on Twitter, and we pretty much to see who wins. I've only ever won one, so
Cool.
I'm 3-1 down now. So would you class as your top three artists?
Oh, that's really hard.
It is, but them the breaks.
It is what it is. Top of the pops for me is Metallica.
Metallica.
Second is Alter Bridge.
Nice.
Uh, the last one's really hard. There's so many to pick from. Uh, I don't listen to them enough. All right, I'll go with. I'll go with. Oh, I'm really struggling here. Can you give me your three and then I'll pick?
My three are Oasis,
Yeah.
Avril Lavigne, really,
Well,
and
that's out of
Disturbed.
left field.
Yeah, and Disturbed.
That's a very different three.
Yeah, it is,
That's
isn't
a
it? Yeah.
very different three. I was gonna go Kasabian, but I don't listen to them enough anymore. Or Oasis, but again, I like the both of
Yeah,
them.
definitely.
Do you know what? Just for a random, they're not my top three, but I really can't think off the top of my. I need to look at my Spotify playlist. Um, I'll go with Royal Blood.
Royal Blood. I'll let you think while we're going through the thing in case someone pops back in, but we'll go with that for the top three at the moment, and then if anyone
Yeah, yeah.
pops in suddenly, you can wham them in.
We don't want to have this been an hour and 20-minute podcast.
Just you going. And then, like, are you a big movie fan or?
No, I watch TV and movies, but like I just watch them usually to go to bed too. I don't really watch TV or movies in the day unless like I'm trying to nap or something.
Yeah.
But is it the same sort of thing?
No. We it's just that was just for the music. So it's just pretty much if you like films or like your favourite film in general.
Favorite film in general, just to give you Saving Private Ryan. It's my favorite film.
That is a classic film. I've only seen it once.
I'm a history graduate, so I love like that sort of stuff.
Okay, so you are massive into history. What's your favourite period?
My favorite period is probably the Industrial Revolution, or I really like the American Revolutionary War, and sort of like also like British North America. They're my favorite. Like I'm not a modern history. I'm like early modern to modern.
Yeah, I was doing a bit about the Industrial Revolution. I can't remember most of it, I'm going to be honest. All like people like the rights of man and stuff like that would pop in my head when I think about it in around that time.
Yeah.
Like I like more like Tudors going back that way.
I'll be honest with you, that's grown on me since I finished uni. Mine Tudor period's really underrated.
Yeah, it's because it's mental. It's just absolute warfare continuously.
Yeah, constant warfare and just Big Henry looking like how
just
am I
does
gonna,
what he wants.
Like get more money. Yeah, how am I gonna get more money?
Start my own religion. I'm gonna kill women. That's right. It's just ridiculous.
It's bonkers, mate. He wasn't very nice.
No. And then are you a gamer at all, or?
No, I'm not.
No
I'm not a gamer. I played one game through the pandemic, and I think personally, I don't think I'll play a game fully through again because it was so good.
Okay, what were you playing?
It was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, it's so good, Red Dead. I just like Rockstar games in general, but like Red Dead's incredible.
I didn't even play Red Dead 1. my mate filled me. I wikied it, and my mate filled me in on what happened.
Yeah.
But I played it from the start, and I was just by the end of it, like, I hope no. When he's on the horse on his way back,
Yeah.
and he said goodbye, I literally was like nearly in tears. Like I
Ruined my life.
it's just it gets me emotional thinking about it, to be honest. But like, yeah, unless there's a Red Dead 3, which I doubt there will be, I can't see me like I enjoyed COD when I was younger, I did, but as I got older,
Yeah.
My interests for me mainly are like just like literally gymming, wrestling. I play football, spend time with the other half, do
Yeah.
stuff. Like generally just go do stuff. Like I try to be out of the house as much as possible. Not because I don't like being out. Like I went for a nap before we came on. You know what I mean? I like being in the house. But as a rule, if I'm doing something, like I can spend hours talking on the phone, like on FaceTime, or just about random crap my mates like. Or go to sorry, the main thing I like a beer as well. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I like going to the pub and going out. I just do a lot, mate.
Um,
You're getting very much a bit of James Ellis in
the
my whole life
experience.
here.
Have
Yeah,
you
it's not.
used an app called Untapped? I kind of
I
shell this
haven't, but I
out.
know all about it.
Yeah, it's absolutely dangerous. Because I drink, but like I used to probably just stick to the beers I'd kind of liked and drank before, like Stella and stuff like that. But then I started.
Yeah,
My brother's mate got me on Untapped, and you literally it makes you try. It doesn't force you to try different beers, but you try different beers to rate them, and then you try
yeah,
absolute crap. Like I've tried Asda Bitter, 4 cans for
yeah.
99p, awful. So
Oh,
it tastes like can. That's how it has to be.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's turned me into an alcoholic basically. It's bad. It's real bad. Yeah, we probably should segue back into some wrestling.
I enjoyed that. That was a
No,
nice segue.
no, it's good. Me being an alcoholic every time it's mentioned. So yeah, you started back at Carnage. You thought you defeated Sam Parker
Yeah.
in 2021, and then you went straight to somewhere else called SMW, which was a Rumble Battle Royale for the title.
Oh, Slam Masters. Yeah. I was thinking, yeah, Slam Masters. I was in the battle royal there. Um, that was very brief. I think I did a DDT, um, and then I got eliminated. I know I took an airplane spin off
Yeah.
Big D. I was eliminated from that. Yeah, that was just literally. Back at that point, then it was very much like, oh wow, I'm on 2 shows in the space of like a week and a half. I was like, I've made it. This is it. You know what I mean?
The
Yes. And then
dreams
I didn't
realised.
rest for like 2 months on a show. No, I did. If we're going on this your life, I got very lucky. Like I was speaking to certain people, and someone dropped out on a Thursday for a Welsh wrestling. Like, do you know the touring company Welsh Wrestling?
I don't know of them now. The
Do
viewers
you have
will.
like in England you have like Mega Slam, like the
Yeah,
touring.
I went Mega Slam recently. That wasn't for
Yeah,
me. But
it's very much
yeah,
shall
yeah,
I hit him, like, but I love
yeah,
it. It's so good to learn and like get comfortable, like calling stuff in the ring, like not planning much. It's brilliant. But I was lucky enough to get on a show there, and I worked face there. I was like Jimmy Ellis or something like that. It wasn't the best, but it was a good learning experience. It was a full day. Like I went all the way up to North Wales, at the top of Wales, which is
yeah,
like 4 hours away from my house. All in one day, proper day of it. So I got very lucky early on with like little chances like that, and like people were just like, where's this come from? But it was just being right place, right time, working hard, looking the part, should I say? Like,
yeah.
um, and then yeah, I had my people have said now say if you know Carnage, the infamous match with Jimmy Taylor on October 30th.
The infamous man. Do you know you have to go into detail of this? I don't know about this infamous match.
Uh, it was a whole story. We literally came up with it over the pandemic. This is like
Yeah,
I really hope people like go and watch the match and like watch the pre-story because like we filmed like a promo where like Jimmy's training in some back garden in a wrestling ring, and like I come in, like I hit him with a chair, so he can't do the first ever Carnage show. So it was all built up towards the next show, and we did like his arm strapped up because I'd broken the arm,
yeah,
and the story was all about the arm. And for two people who had like Well, I think this was like match 13. I don't know. It was an early match. This is like his first match that wasn't like Welsh wrestling.
Yeah.
Like I'll say, for the inexperience of us two, I thought it was pretty good. And yeah, it's sorry, I had an email come through. Yeah, it was. I thought it was really good. Like for how little we were into wrestling. Um, yeah, and then I can't remember. I think we did a 6-man tag like 2 weeks later at Carnage again.
Yeah, so yeah, it was yourself. Where is it? Danny Owens and Brewski Blanche. That's an incredible name. Versus Jimmy and Yaren Scare.
Yeah, we did a 6-man tag, and it was in my hometown. So I had people coming to watch me, like friends who just can't. And it was like bring your own beer. So a lot of these
Yeah.
watch wrestling. They were like dicks. They just come in for a laugh and have a beer, and it was it was a lot of fun. But like it was very much the first time like it was 50-50 crowd.
Yeah.
I remember like BXB come out and I came through them and did the Brill sign, and it was just like you just heard a roar of cheers, and I was just like. I turned to Danny, went, how the hell do I react? He went, just do it, embrace it. So we were like in between people. We were the bad guys. Yeah, it kind of crapped all over the heel and face vibe. But I mean, like, we talked about the CM Punk thing.
Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? If they're cheering, you
yeah,
can't really. It's just pointless trying to make them boo sometimes.
Yeah, like if it's definitely a portion of the crowd. It's like Jimmy came out, he was on the mic, and they were just booing him, and like. He was just like, what am I meant to do? But yeah, so it was a good, really good night again. But as I said, I was like, oh, this wrestling I'm really enjoying it. And then I didn't wrestle for like 2.5 months. I wasn't on a show until I don't think I was on a show until January the 30th.
Okay. Yeah, I can see one for Carnage on the 19th of Feb. So I don't know if I can't see one listed for that, but against Tyson. But yeah, in between that. Going from that, so then as I said, you went back to Carnage, and then I think this is the first match I can see. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Where you went into England at EVW at Bristol.
Technically, I'd wrestled in Cirencester, my first match back from the pandemic, and like just before the first Carnage show, I wrestled for a company called Slamdown, but they did like 2 shows and then never came back, sadly. So, and I wasn't even on the second show. So I technically I'd been there before, but this is my first chance. I wrestled man like Bino, who's one of the best wrestlers in not only Wales but the UK.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not man like Bino anymore. It's Harrison Bennett.
Yeah, but it was man like Bino at the time. Yeah.
He was still like sort of figuring out like the name change. We've gone to become very good mates because we both train at New Wave now. We love having a beer and going out. So got nothing but good things to say, and it's always a pleasure wrestling him because you're in a fight when you're wrestling him. And he says mind for it, so it's really not underrated, as he says, underused. And I think this year he's going to be picked right back up off where he left off for the pandemic.
Like, he is underused. Like, he used to, like, my local was Kamikaze Pro, and they used to bring him over on the odd occasion. But he'd have a good match, and then you wouldn't see him again. This has gone dramatically.
Sorry, bear with. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Could you hear me at all, or...?
It just completely cut off.
No worries. I'll repeat myself. So yeah, man like Bino, yeah, my local company's called Kamikaze Pro. And he's wrestled there a few times, but it's very much he wrestles once and then you won't see him for ages. And every time he's been there, he's been very good.
He speaks very highly of Kamikaze when he's spoken about it.
Very underused, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. He's one of the best. He's just that kind of person you can have on a show and guarantee, as you said, you're gonna have a good match. You'll be entertained.
It's fun, yeah.
So at this time in This Is Your Life, I kind of moved to New Wave then, and my perspective on what wrestling could be for me changed completely, if I'm honest. I really enjoyed my time at All Style. Like, I wrestled for them as well, actually.
Yeah.
Between Ego and Carnage, I actually did wrestle on Carnage on the 19th, and on the 20th I wrestled for Exist, which is their show
Mm.
company. So like the training school's called All Star. Yeah, can't put over enough how much it really helped me develop that extra step, and definitely more of like it refined me a lot better in like what I was doing, and like corrected like bad habits I had. So yeah, I can't thank the boys enough there. But it was just like I'm very much a chapter person. I was going to more seminars.
Yeah.
That's why I got the Evo booking. I went to a Charlie Sterling and a Joel Redmond seminar there. I think a Nick Riley as well. So I was moving about, and I went up to Joel Redmond's school up in Salisbury. Me and Jimmy did that. So I was just like networking really, and like open just to not even get a chance, but just show my face a bit more, and hopefully I was like doing all right. And I met Bronco for one of the Evo shows.
Yeah.
Uh, and he obviously had said, I'm gonna start New Wave now. It's gonna be like Dragon Pro 2.0 under a new name, new
Yeah.
banner, but with like obviously Hitch, Wild Boar Mike Hitchman as the coach, him as a coach, Danny Jones as a coach, Nico Angelo, Danny Luna. Is there anyone else to think? Well, Splits Up
It's like
Pins
a
takes a
who's
lot
who,
of
isn't it? That kind of coaching staff, you know.
and you're there, and I'm like, it's got to be done. You know what I mean? This is the next step now. It's like fate that brought me to this point. That sort of gimmicky thing that people say. And yeah, it was just the next step. Jimmy was going. We trained together at All Style, so I was like, yeah, I'll make the jump as well. It was like being part of the NWO. You know what I mean?
The outcasts.
You jump from one company to another. But yeah, no, it was it. And then yeah, the first few sessions, like I was like, wow, this is real. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
top
Like
notch.
it was different gravy, as they say. Um, yeah, so it was really good. As like the ball just started like rolling from there. Then I was getting a lot of chances to rest on different shows. I like to name a couple. Like obviously, I've been the constant at Carnage. Got the chance to rest at Slam Masters.
Yeah.
Like like I said, they just did a show last week. I've done both the Banking Hall shows, which have been two great opportunities. What else? So I've done a few more Welsh wrestlings, which is really good. Um, I'm giving you just a rough overview because, like, if we go match by match, we could be here for a while. Like, not to
Yeah,
rest
like
loads.
there's some ones I was going to pick out, like because I'd like we've had because I'm a big fan of RC Chaos, and I saw you wrestled him at
Yeah,
No Mercy.
I wrestled
Um,
twice, No Mercy, and I love wrestling RC Chaos.
he's
He's a
a
true
lovely
gent.
guy, and he? Yeah, funny as well.
Saw him yesterday. Funny enough, saw him yesterday. He was at the No Mercy show yesterday. I was on.
Yeah, our
Um,
our guy was supposed to go down there and review it, but the trains got cancelled,
oh no,
which was gutted. He was proper gutted about not being able to go.
it was a really good show. I really enjoyed that show. I wrestled Joseph Connors, who is like give
Incredible.
me a new appreciate. Yeah, give me a
Yeah,
new appreciation for like wrestling, like just feeling what's it like in there and how the crowd react to things, and also is an absolute machine. Uh, is an absolute cardio machine.
yeah.
So yeah, it was. I really enjoyed that. And he was giving some really great constructive feedback after on what to work on and what was good, what needs
Mm.
work. Yeah, really really nice guy.
Yeah, like Joseph Connors, he was my favourite like UK heel for years. Joseph Connors.
Yeah,
Like I'd like BCC. Like I'm segueing now. When I first went to BCCW and he was a face on it for like 5 minutes, it really confused me. Just like him
yeah.
coming out as a face, and then he ended up being a dick again. So it was fine. It's,
Just like a great mind for it, and everything's about
so
story,
good.
how we tell a story. So yeah, just a really different perspective on wrestling and how to plan a match and stuff. Yeah, superb. Sorry, that segued
No,
all the
no,
way to
no.
my
It's
most recent
always
match.
segueing. It's always good to go being
Yeah.
back and forth. So yeah, you faced RC Chaos a few times, and then you ended
Oh,
up winning. Carry on.
I'll just give you a quick segue because
Yeah.
like I was lucky enough to be given the opportunity to wrestle at No Mercy, and like I remember turning up and Chris Bevan was like, "Yeah, we're gonna put you in the main against RC Chaos." This is like my first time, I think, really, where I wrestled someone who I just didn't know much about at all. Like, didn't know how he was as a person, never met him before. I was like, "This is quite scary," but he was
Yeah.
like, he was such a gent, and I was like, "What do you want to do?" And he was like, "Mate, I'm at the time now where it's what do you want to do? I'm just here to enjoy it." And we literally did like I think we just basically did Rock and Austin. We were literally like at one point I was on the outside, I turned the match around on the outside, I posted him, grabbed his jacket which had a dark fruits in it, and I just started drinking it and then just doused him with the dark fruits. he chucked me from the stage into the ring. I took a Hogan big boot. He hit the leg drop on me. I think I did a Michael Cell round from like when he wrestled him at SummerSlam '05. Um, it was just loads of fun. I remember like literally at the end of it, like selling like the end of the match. And just being there, like that was really cool. Actually, I really enjoyed that. So yeah, he's a really really nice guy. Pleasure
Yeah.
to be around.
He's very accommodating as well. Like he's out with this channel a lot. Like he's allowing us to review and like preview his shows and stuff like that. And he comes on.
Yeah.
Very 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 nice guy. But yeah, so you went for all that, and then you wrestled him a few times. You had a fatal four-way with Jimmy Taylor involved as well, and then
Yeah.
you ended up at No Mercy, winning their gauntlet, the Combat Legacy title, which I still believe you're holding at this moment in time, or you may have.
I am, yeah.
Yeah,
I am. I am.
I was about to say
I
if
am
Joseph
still.
Connors luck beat you now, and
No. I managed to beat Joseph Connors. But yeah. No, I won it. Yeah, that was my first belt since post pandemic.
yeah.
People think it's the first belt, but as you mentioned, it wasn't. It was the second belt.
But this is the belt.
This was the belt. This was the first belt post pandemic. Yeah, it was just it showed to me that like hard work was being put in, and also he was taking a chance on someone new. He probably could have put it on someone a bit more established, but he wanted to give me an opportunity. So I'll be ever thankful for him for doing that. I haven't got the belt upstairs with me at the moment, so I'm sorry. I've got another belt to show you though, but we'll get into that in a bit quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that it was a really good day. I remember I wrestled Danny Jones. We were in a gauntlet match. We were only in the ring for about 3 minutes, but that gave me an idea of how good he really, really is. He's the man, Danny Jones. Like he's one of the best. Not again, like I said, cream of the crop. One of the best, not in Wales, but the UK. Current Rev Pro Tag Champ.
Yeah, that's where I saw him
King
recently.
of Chaos. It speaks for itself, sort of thing.
No, very good. And from when obviously I didn't know about the Joseph Connors defeat, defending, but you've defended 3 or 4 times since then. For No Mercy, yeah.
I defended it. I defended it on a Carnage show once against Shane Hooker. That's a match I'd really recommend watching because again, that's 2 people just trying to be creative and try and bring something different to a show. Really enjoyed it. Again, if we wrestled now, 6 months later, it'd be a completely different match because we've both learned a lot more in that time, and he's only like 7 months in at that time. Like he's just unreal. Wrestled Harrison Bennett for it. That was one of my favorite matches of last year. I wrestled Lucia Lee and Harley Hudson in a triple threat at their last show before the new year.
Yeah.
And then Joseph Connors. So there's a couple of names there.
There's a who's who, isn't there? Yeah.
I also it goes a little bit under the radar, but I wrestled one of the most I don't know, not underrated, not underused, just coming back out there, but like after returning split snuck pins, I wrestled him at a charity show for it.
I do like split
and
pins,
that was he's class. He's one of the best. I don't say he's one of the best lot, but I'm surrounded by such good wrestlers and good people, and he's one of the good people outside of the ring as well, who's like really helped me. Because we travel to training together most of the time. I know I'm kind of killing kayfabe a bit here, but
it's already killed on these podcasts.
I know. I didn't know how we wanted to approach it before.
I've accepted it.
So yeah, it's one of those. So yeah, but that was another defense as well. So I've really enjoyed my time with it. But like. Where do you want to go next with where we segue into now?
I was going to go segue into the next thing I really wanted to bring up was the Wild Boar match. Like going actually to fight Wild Boar, kind of like legend of Welsh wrestling.
Speaks for itself on the tin. It was my biggest match yet at that point. Just after, obviously, New Wave had started in March, and I was given their first show. I was given the opportunity not to wrestling, but we were last on. So that was when like the nerves were really there, to be honest with you. I was like, am I really the Brilliance? Can I show it? Or am I just going to get out there and just absolutely cack the bed? But I think it went well. Like obviously I got of good feedback off him about the match after and what to work on. But like just wrestling Wild Boar is just different. Like he is the character.
Yeah.
When he goes to that curtain, he is the Wild Boar. Intense, but like just so good. So good. Like the New Wave match I've had, I've wrestled Wild Boar at Bolorama, in a tag match. I wrestled Mark Andrews,
Yeah, that was
and
another one
Flash
we're going
Morgan
to bring up.
Webster.
Yeah, you've kind of gone through the big four, gone like, you know.
It's not a bad lineup. Like, so like the new wave, like the opportunities they've given me, like I said, I tweeted a couple of weeks ago, like it completely changed my view on what wrestling might or could be because of going there. I have got it bigger because it usually is waiting for there, but I
Yeah.
have got the belt bigger as well that I won on the show. I think it's a pretty nifty belt, to be honest with you. It's pretty cool. I'm not one for belts and that. It's cool, but it's like for me, it represents the faith being shown in you
Yeah.
more than just winning a belt. And Bronco was taking it. Obviously, I won the Rumble, which was really hard actually. I didn't
So
realize
you're
how
in a massive rumble,
long
yeah.
being in 1 to 30, like how long you're out there.
Oh, you were the Iron Man, were you? The Iron Man, you went the
Yeah,
whole of it. Oh.
me and I'd really recommend watching that show.
Yeah.
That show is absolutely ace.
Wave 3.
The whole show is incredible. But yeah, I did one and one. Me and Nico Angelo went 1 and 2 all the way through to the end, and then I won with a low blow and then pushed him off the edge.
I love a good low blow.
Honestly, I'd really recommend watching that and the Rumble. I really recommend watching the Flash Morgan Webster match. That should be coming out soon. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Daft Show looks very good. So we've heard the new Wave 3 show because obviously you had yourself versus Andrews, but you're like Greedy Souls versus Knack 2 and Danny Luna versus Echo. It's a very good show.
Yeah, the quality in them shows is unreal. And the crowd roar is excellent. It's very much a very like I don't know, like indie club vibe sort of thing. But with just good wrestling as well, and like different stories being told, different wrestlers on there. But the crowd sort of like there's something for the crowd, something for everyone sort of thing. And like the next show we're doing a Scotland v Wales show with me against Andy Roberts, or usually formerly known as Andy Wild.
Yeah.
Coming down with a couple of his trainees from his school at FPWA. We're doing like a new wave v FPWA show. So I don't really know how that's going to go with the crowd. To be honest, because I don't know if like I'm from Wales, am I technically the face? I'm not sure. So we'll see. I'll be giving them grief regardless. So if they want to cheer me, crack, and if they want to boo me, even better. So I don't mind being booed. I think that's one bit of advice I've been given by Brendan and Mark was that you actually you don't mind going out there and just generally getting booed. Like a lot of people want to be the Scott Hall, want to be the Razor Ramon, and be the cool heel. But I just I'd rather just boo me. I just tell you to shut up instead.
No, I think getting booed is a lot, but it's fun seeing when the amount of hate you can get. Just seeing how you can top it. It's incredible. Some people.
And I've glossed over the fact that I had the opportunity to wrestle for Attack, which is like one of the biggest companies in Britain on their return show, and that was just fucking bonkers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, was that the Sir Mandrew Super State? You won that match as well, didn't you? So,
I did,
I was just about to say, and then get not bad against Chuck Mambo, Elijah, and Rio.
It was a very pinch me moment. I got a new shirt coming out now. I'll just giving you the scoop here because I'm just getting it designed now, and it's going to be for the Attack shows in April.
Yeah.
And it's literally a picture of me in between the crowd. It's on my Instagram as well. It's like me in the crowd, and the crowd just everywhere. I'm blurring the crowd's faces out because obviously, that. But it's like a special, and it's like it'll have Attackers Brilliance on it for there. And I'm really looking forward to that being available. And it'll probably just only be sold on Attack shows, and like a select who can pre-order if they want to. But I'm releasing that this week at some point. I don't know when this podcast is coming out. But I'm releasing it.
It'll be out the 27th, so it'll be out Monday, the week today.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It should be done by then. If not, we're really we're getting close to the edge. April 1st. Need to be ready for then. So yeah, that's a little scoop for you.
There we go. Yeah, it's always nice to get a bit of scooping. And Brian, before you go that, so the reason I got you on is because I saw you like this. I saw you at BCCW.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
So we haven't mentioned them.
Yeah. So prior to you had wrestled a match prior to me seeing you at BCCW, because I saw you in the Fatal 4-Way match, which was yourself versus CJ Rollins versus Shane Hooker versus TJ Sky.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned on when we were doing the review on it, you were a proper like highlight of the show.
Right.
I hadn't heard of you
Thank
before,
you.
I'll be honest. And then that match, it was very like you were just like a highlight of that match.
Oh, thank you, mate. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and then it's just kind of I need to kind of see this guy a bit more, and that's the reason I got you on the show. I'll be honest.
Oh no, thank you. I'm glad that's all I like. As long as you're entertained and you enjoyed it, like it's great when you say, "Oh, you're a highlight of the show." I really enjoyed that, and I'm glad I can do my job right in the way of. I hope it's because you wanted to boo me and not because like I was cool, but it is a case of that's me doing my job. So I'm very happy, doing some of it right at least. And
Yeah.
I like learning. I take every match like a learning opportunity. So it's I'm really glad to hear that.
No, yeah, and they said it was a very, very good match as well. Look, CJ Rollins is insane.
Yeah.
Like,
That man, he moves. He shouldn't be able to move like that, to be honest with you, but he does.
yeah, it's like segueing with CJ Rollins. I saw him at Wrestle Carnival after this,
Yeah.
and it was like I can't their title. I need to find out what it's called. It's like a junior heavyweight kind of title.
Future X, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something like that. But it was kind of like he was fighting three other guys, and it looked like it was just like the big brother. Like they were all smaller guys, and it was just him massive. It was like he was just gonna beat down in the yard in jail. That's what it looked like to me.
But he can move like all of them as well.
Flips,
like, he's fast. He's
yeah.
the flips. He's bonkers, mate. He's really really good.
Yeah.
Great to be around as well. Very chilled guy backstage. But yeah, I enjoy BCCW. I am coming back eventually this year. It was meant to be on April 7th, but I can't make the show now. So
okay.
prior, I let Rob know prior, or RC know, sorry, that I couldn't do it. So it's the first time I had to pull out of just purely because other circumstances. Sometimes,
yeah, it does happen,
real life comes first. Work. So the Brilliance won't be there for a little while, but I will be there in September.
That's
it's a bit of a wait.
Yeah.
But I will be back there. I was gutted because there was a lot of stuff on the way this year. I was meant to be on all of the shows, but I just couldn't make the first two. I saw him yesterday, and I was like, mate, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I really want to come back, but
it's a big show as well.
Like
the people that booked on it is ridiculous this time around. Like Aston Reeves and flipping Liam. They didn't even properly announce it. Oh, it was on the Facebook event page, and it was just like, Lee Hunter's there and stuff like that. And you saw there also Leon Slater's there. Not announced. It was just Leon Slater's just in the name there. Leon Slater's there. It's like
it's bonkers. So it's just gone. I got some really really cool stuff coming up as well. Like you heard a couple of things.
Yeah.
But just enjoying me more than anything and just being the Brilliance and just being good as gold. That's the way I look at it.
Top notch. And then what we kind of normally do to round off the thing is we kind of do with it's pretty much like, I can't think of the word now, I've lost it, a future tense kind of match. So it's either hypothetical, that's what I'm going to go for. So it's either a dream match with someone that's still wrestling, and then a dream match with someone that's either passed away or just retired in general. Who would you like to face? Yeah.
To go a little bit I don't know how it would work, to be honest with you, but I'd actually love to wrestle MJF, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work, but I'd like to wrestle MJF. I think he's just so good in every department. Great talker, likes getting heat or getting booed, and he's a really good wrestler. Brian Danielson's another one. I'm not a really big AEW fan as well, but I just watched the
Two
stuff.
big hitters though, weren't they? Yeah. The Iron Man match was incredible.
Just professional wrestling, that is. And then on the WWE side, I'd actually like to wrestle Cody Rhodes. I think that'd be so much fun.
You're a massive AEW guy, you aren't you?
Yeah, I know. It sounds bad, but again, I'm thinking of it in context of the Brilliance, and Cody Rhodes would just be someone really cool to wrestle.
Good story, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that's my hypothetical. And then past or Brennan, probably who's not wrestling anymore. I'd probably like I don't know how this would go, but right to wrestle Kurt Angle, or
Yeah.
I said that now, but like, could he still wrestle? I'd love to wrestle Christian. Like you can tell which era I really
TNA
enjoy.
guy,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Well, yeah, but like I enjoyed his work in like Just Close Your Eyes is just like his 2005 version of my favorite themes, and his stuff back then is brilliant. Chris Jericho's another one as well. Chris Jericho's my favorite wrestler, but again, he's AEW, so like where am I?
Oh, it is what it is,
It?
isn't it? Yeah, you know. But yeah, Christian, like the old Christian theme song. Do you know when he first split up from Edge and he's Christian? At last, you're on your own. It's so good.
the choir sort of thing, in it, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, so like, but like not rest anymore. Like I'd say like Kurt Angle or Eddie Guerrero, probably.
Yeah, Kurt Angle would be a very good one. I was lucky enough to see one of Kurt Angle's matches. He fought at Revolution Pro. He came and fought down there. I think it was Zack Sabre Jr. I keep thinking it was Will Ospreay, but no, it was Zack Sabre Jr. And that was just a stupid match to see. Like Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kurt Angle. Like, incredible. But yeah, no, they're Kurt Angle, Christian, Chris Jericho. There would be some good matches.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get there. You know, we'll see on AEW TV.
Never say never.
Nah, definitely. You've always got to shoot for the highest points. You know, no point in trying to limit yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the kind of roller coaster of your career up to this point. And then, you know, I'm going to look back on this in 10 years when you fought Cody Rhodes and when it was announced on this show. So I look at it. So as usual, we kind of give you a kind of platform to kind of plug whatever, like socials and stuff like that. Your Twitter handle's been below your name for the whole video. But any other socials you want to kind of let the people know?
My Facebook is James Ellis Pro Wrestler. My Instagram is the same as my Twitter handle, James Ellis PW. I also have a YouTube if you want to go and watch it or subscribe. That's usually just has my MVs on it. That's James Ellis PW as well. Try to keep it quite uniform. Yeah. So please go ahead and have a look at any photos or videos I got up on there.
Sound. I'll whack them all in the description as well, so they won't be hard to find.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, so that's it. So as usual, just like and subscribe. Comment down below who you'd want on next. We're trying to get on. We're actually going to get ourselves a Facebook because we've been told to do that now. Because a lot of I didn't realise how big wrestling was on Facebook anymore. Like the people we've been with, like PWL and Kumite, they all their fans are on Facebook supposedly. I was like, okay, we probably should sort that out. But yeah, so like and subscribe, comment down below. But yeah, that's all from me, and thank you for coming on.
No, thank you.
Big one. So yeah, that's bye from myself and from you. Wonderful.